Hello everyone, this is Dr. Madhulika Gupta and welcome back again to the last section of your economics subject. Today we're going to conduct third part of your first unit, right? That we are studying. So let's continue with that. I hope you have gone through last two videos of mine because there's a connection always to the to particular units because it's very important to understand the concept, right? So if you've not gone through it, please go through it and then watch this video. So I'll share my screen with you all now. So we'll study here the continuation to the last unit, the more theories, that economics theory of firm, as we studied in the last video. So in this video, we will study about behavioral theory. Now, behavioral theory view business firm engaging in non-maximizing behavior. That is, firm emerges as a satisfier rather than as a maximizer. So Simon satisfying model and Cyert and March model. These three models we will study here one by one. So let's understand first the Simon model. Look, a constraint of incomplete information and imperfect data and uncertainty about future creates difficulty for managers to get optimum decision. We all know that. Thus, managers look for the second best situation, which is called the satisfying behavior, right? So thus, manager look for satisfactory level of profit rather than profit maximizing behavior and satisfactory level of cost rather than cost minimizing behavior. Okay, so let's understand this. So Simon assumed that organizational behavior and individual behavior are comparable. Model talks about satisfactory level, subjective concept. So model is not concrete, like talks about incomplete knowledge and information, but doesn't specify the kind of information, right? So this is the drawback of the model. The next is model of Cyert and March. Now they have stressed on decision making process of multi-product firm under uncertainty in an imperfect market. Now there are a few assumptions of these model also. Like in a firm, there are many groups with conflicting behavior on interest. The second one is one has to develop the goals of various groups. One has developed the overall environment of the firm, and there has to be treatment of uncertainty. These are few of the assumptions of model of Cyert and March. It consists of various individuals whose interests may conflict with each other. The group is called organization coalition and includes managers, stockholders, workers, consumers, and so on, all the stakeholders, right? So all these individuals like participating in setting the goals of an organization. So unlike a conventional theory of single goal, behavioral theory states that an organization has multiple goals, right? So this is what it stress on. So goals of individual group. Firm is considered to have multi-goal. Organization comprises of workers, managers, shareholders, suppliers, customers, bankers, tax collectors, each having their own different goals. And to know the goals of one needs to know the origin and decision-making process which leads to their formation, right? So this is important. Now the demand of the different groups are competing for the given resources of the firm, and there is a continuous conflict. As we have studied in demand that resources are limited and wants are unlimited. The same thing happens here. The relationship between demand, that is aspirations, and past achievements depends on the performance of the firm and changes in the environment, of course. So there are three situations, like for example, like a steady situation where aspirations tend to be equal to past achievements, right? That is the demand. And dynamic situation means when aspirations lag behind achievements, excess profit or surplus. And recession situation means aspirations are larger than past achievements. So these three situations can happen in the like goal of the firm, right? So let's understand, according to Cyert and March behavioral theory, what are the goals of the firm? There are five main goals set by the firm, like production goal, inventory goal, market share goal, respective departments, and profit goal, that is stock management, right? So these are the goals set up of a firm. These are the goals of a firm as per the Cyert and March theory, right? Let's understand these goals one by one. Okay. So the production goal, right? So according to this goal, what happens is production should not fluctuate too much, nor fall below an acceptable level. Why? Because this ensures stable employment, maintenance of adequate cost performance and growth. So the workers and those in production department have this goal. What is the goal? The production goal, right? Now, what is the inventory goal? Of course, this goal originates mainly from the inventory department. The name suggests itself, or from the sales and production department, because they are connected. Inventory is connected to production and production is connected to sales. They are interrelated, right? So the sales department needs enough stock of output for the customers, while production department requires adequate stock of raw materials and other items necessary for uniform flow of the output. This is how sales, production, and inventory are related, and this is how inventory goal is set up by sales department and production department and inventory department, right? This is talking about respective departments. The next is market share goal. Of course, it's a sales goal we can interpret, right? This goal is an alternative to the sales goal and arises from the sales department. So this department decides on the advertising campaign, the market research programs, and so on to have more market share, right? To expand the market. And the last one is profit goal. Of course, this goal is set up by top management. Why? In order to satisfy the demands of shareholders and expectation of bankers and earn profits. And of course, generate more funds, and which they can achieve their goals and project, because if there are more funds, they can have more projects taken in and satisfy other goals of the firm. Because if this profit goal satisfied, other goals are satisfied automatically. Because if you're not earning profit, if you're not doing good, then of course everything is affected, right? And everything is connected, all the goals are connected. I hope you guys are understanding how these goals are connected, and you guys are working, so of course you can relate. Somebody would be in marketing, somebody would be in production, somebody would be in supply chain, right? Someone would be an entrepreneur over here. So you just interpret and make it in a real life situation, right, about these goals, and that's it. You have to write it down. It's that simple. Now, while making decisions, firms are guided, of course, by these four goals. The conflict among different goals, of course, may come up. There are conflicts, right, between different departments. Like, to give you, for example, sales goal may require a lower price, right? Whereas the profit goal is higher price. They are contradicting to each other. There's a conflict. And sales or production goal may require high inventories, whereas profit goal may require low inventories. जितना कम होगा उतना इन्वेंट्री लो, जितना कम होगा उतना इन्वेंट्री में इन्वेस्ट करो, उतना ही कम ब्लॉक करो, है ना? But sales and production goal is higher inventories, higher production, higher sales. Conflict. So such conflicts among coalition members are resolved within the firm as a result of persuasion and accommodation of each other's viewpoints, right? So the firm in the behavioral theory seeks to satisfy overall performance rather than maximize profits only, sales and other magnitudes, right? It is about overall performance. So the firm is a satisficing organization rather than a maximizing entrepreneur. You understood what I meant when I told you that it is about satisficing, not maximizing, right? Now, resolution of conflicts. How the conflicts are resolved? Like money payments, side payments, slack payments, sequential adhering to demand, decentralizing decision making. Let's understand. Like when I talk about like how these treatment of uncertainty is done, how these things are tackled with. So there is market uncertainty, like due to incomplete information about changing taste and preference in change in methods of production. So there can be a problem. So minimizing market survey and R&D. So there are a lot of things. Market uncertainty. Market is always uncertain sometimes. So uncertainty about competitors' reaction, that minimizing by forming collusion with rivals. How would a competitor react? We don't know. How price he will change? We don't know. Mostly in the case of oligopoly, it's very difficult. So we have to take care about competitors' reaction to certain market change and price change, and accordingly we have to change our policies. So these are all things that have to be taken into consideration, right? Let's understand now the critical evaluation of Cyert and March behavioral theory. Uh, how it is criticized, the how where the model fails. Now this model fails to address as to how interdependence of firms which influence the action taken by top management to solve various conflicting solutions. It fails to understand that. And Cyert and March deal with one form of slack, that is managerial slack. Other important forms of managerial slacks were ignored by them. So their theory is incomplete. They only take into consideration one slack, right? So now this was about Cyert and March theory. Now let's understand the another model, that is Williamson model. Now what this model says. Let's read. The managerial theory of firm, developed by Oliver E. Williamson, states that managers apply discretion in making and implementing policies to maximize their own utility rather than trying for the maximization of profit, which ultimately maximizes the utility of owner shareholders. That means profit acts as a constraint to this exercise. The utility function includes one measurable variable, namely salary, and non-measurable ones like security, power, status, prestige, professional excellence, right? So to formalize the model, one has to take proxy variables of these non-measurable ones, right? So these proxy variables taken are emoluments of managers or slack in the form of luxury offices, company car, etc., or the expenditure which are incurred like a discretion of managers. Now this reflect their power, status, prestige, professional excellence, right? So these remunerations have their own advantage, of course, in comparison to salaries, as the person getting these will get tax benefits. So such payments catch less attention from the shareholders and labor force, right? So also status and power of managers associated with the discretion they have in undertaking investments. So discretionary investment expenditure gives satisfaction to managers because it allows them to materialize their personal favorite projects. Getting my point? So that is taken into consideration. Now, how this theory is critically evaluated. It is said that model is valid for large firms where there is scope of product differentiation and discretionary investment. And model doesn't talk about the managerial behavior of firm in relation to the rival firms and its impact on utility. So this is how it is critically evaluated, the Williamson theory. So now in this particular video, we have studied about theories like behavioral theory, the Cyert and March theory, and the Williamson theory, right? It's a very short video, so you don't have to give much time. Just go through it. These theories are important from exam point of view. You might be asked particular theories, right, in the exam, or if you have multiple choice questions, then your concept should be very clear. As I told you, your fundamental knowledge should be very clear in what theory, what is meant in what theory, how the particular theory is critically evaluated. You should all understand it very thoroughly. Okay. So now with these 3 videos, we end our first unit, right? In the next video, we'll start with second unit of economic analysis of business decisions. Till that time, you guys keep on watching the videos, study, make notes, right? If any doubt, put on the chat box, I'll answer your questions. Thank you so much. Take care.